Hi everyone, this is Teresa from Tarot by T. I'm sorry for the delay in these last four readings, last four signs. I had an emergency situation come up at home that had to be taken care of, and I had to stop the readings to take care of it, so now I'm doing them better late than never. So thank you for your patience, and I hope you enjoy the reading. Hi Capricorn, welcome to October. This is Teresa from Tarot by T. Before I start your reading, I want to call in some good energy. So this month we have a full moon in Aries on October 1st. And that's going to last, that energy will last the whole month until the next full moon on October 31st in Taurus. And then we have Pluto going direct on the 4th of October. And a new moon in Libra on October 16th, and Mercury goes retrograde on the 13th. So this month, expect slowdowns, and because you're also one of the cardinal signs with all this heavy Capricorn energy, and Mars is going to be in Aries, squaring Capricorn energies, all the planets in Capricorn all month until it's been for 6 months. It's been like this. We've been dealing with this Mars. First conjuncting the Capricorn energy, now it's squaring the Capricorn energy. Until it moves out of Aries, there's nothing we just have to deal with it. So just bear with October. Things should get a little bit better in November. We should come out of this is like probably the most, the peak of the crisis, or the conflict, or the tension, I should say. So let's see what the stars say. We'll get into the astrology later. What do the cards say about love and relationships for Capricorn? What do the cards say about love and relationships for Capricorn? What does Capricorn need to know about love and relationships for October 2020? What is coming up for Capricorn in October 2020? The Eight of Wands, the Queen of Wands, the Three of Swords, the Four of Wands, the Knight of Pentacles, the Knight of Swords, the Moon, the Hierophant, the Lovers, and the Nine of Wands. And the card on the bottom of the deck is the Three of Wands. So, we're starting the month out with this Eight of Wands energy. This is news coming in, messages, doors opening up, arrows of love. You could be dealing with a fire sign this month. The Queen of Wands energy is fire. She's going after what she wants. And she's decided to take a leadership role in her life. But it could also mean that you're dealing with someone like this. If it's not you having to tap into that energy, it could mean that you're dealing with someone who's very confident and very aggressive, competitive, and she might be crossing you this month. So you might have to deal with some competition. But the Eight of Wands is good news. Usually the Eight of Wands is, so opportunities are opening up for you. Even if you're dealing with, if you're in a conflict or a competitive situation, there are plenty of opportunities coming up this month. And if you also tap into your leadership ability, or take charge energy, which is, most Capricorns have that discipline and that leadership ability, you can achieve a lot. You can reach your goal. Now, you have the Three of Swords in the past, so this could be, this is a card of cutting away what's no longer serving you. You might have had a breakup in a relationship, or you might have decided to let go of certain people from your life or certain relationships because it just wasn't working. So this Eight of Wands energy could mean messages coming in toward a new relationship. Maybe you're competing with someone else. For those of you who are single and, you know, dating, there could be competition with someone you're interested in, and you have to kind of win out somehow. You have the Four of Wands here, so you've had some successes in the recent past. The Four of Wands energy is success, stability, victory, settling down, you know, into some type of, because the four represents stability and, you know, the foundation of something stable. So you might have, some of you might be, maybe you have committed to a relationship in the recent past, and now you're just settling in. But you have the Knight of Pentacles here and the Knight of Swords. So you have two energies coming up in the future. The Knight of Pentacles could be that you're dealing with an earth sign, someone who's very down to earth, very hard worker, someone who's willing to do what needs to be done to get, you know, things. They just do their work. They're very dedicated. They're very committed. They come to work every day. But that could also be your energy because you're an earth sign. And then you have this Knight of Swords energy. You could also be dealing with an air sign or someone who is very hasty, wanting to, you know, jump into something, not having a lot of patience. This person, if it's a person, the Knight of Swords energy is someone who could be a little selfish, or they're only concerned with their agenda and they want everything to happen yesterday. So you might be dealing with someone that you may have to tell them, look, you have to be patient. This, you know, it could be like that you're working on a project and they're wanting you to complete it right away and you just don't have the time. You want to do it carefully because you're, you know, Capricorns are very, they strive for excellence. And you can't rush excellence. You know, you have to take your time. So you might be dealing with someone that's trying to rush you in some way, maybe in a relationship situation or even in a career situation. And sometimes the Knight of Swords can represent someone, sudden departure or sudden arrival. So for some of you, you might decide to end a relationship. Someone just leaves your life suddenly, or someone comes into your life suddenly that you didn't expect. You know, you're living your life, your normal life, and all of a sudden, here's this new person. So, and I feel like you're going to have to be making some kind of decision. You have the Lovers here. In your negative thinking sector, you have the Moon. So the Moon is a card of confusion, imagination, working overtime. Maybe you're not so sure about a partner. You're wondering if you can trust them. Or you may be idealizing someone. The Moon could work either way. You might be, you know, not seeing someone clearly, not seeing a relationship clearly, and trying to make a decision without having a realistic outlook or perception of the person. So it's going to be hard for you to, you're trying to make a decision without having complete knowledge. Because the Lovers is here and the Hierophant. The Hierophant in your environment, if you're involved in a relationship, this person is very, you could be dealing with someone who's very stubborn, very set in their ways, very conservative. And you're wanting to do certain things and they're kind of fighting you because they don't like change. They don't like, you know, novelty. They want to go, you know, like this is the way we've always done it. Or you could be dealing with a company like that where you're working for like government or an educational institution and, you know, they're telling you this is the way we've always done it. We don't want to change. And you're trying to bring innovation to the situation. And they're like, and you're coming against this conservative energy that's blocking you. And so you have to make a decision. You could also be dealing with, if it's a partner, you're trying to decide to do the right thing. You want to do the right thing. You care about what people think. So if you're in a relationship and you're thinking about leaving it, you want to handle it in the right way. If you're in a relationship, if you're just dating, you're going to have to make a choice. You could be choosing between two people because you have the Lovers here in your wish fulfillment sector. The Lovers is a card of having to choose between two paths. If you're just dating, there could be someone coming into your life that affects you really strongly. That could be soulmate energy with the Lovers, especially with this Eight of Wands. It could be unexpected. Like, you know, you're living your life and all of a sudden this unexpected connection pops up or this unexpected message comes up. Could be from a fire sign or an earth sign, even air. And you have to make a decision. It could be, especially if you're dating someone, do I leave the person I'm dating and check out this new person? Or it could just be a decision of, do I get involved or not get involved? Or in a relationship, it could also mean, do I stay or do I go? If you're in a committed partnership, you might be mulling the decision. Do I stay and work this out, or do I leave, cut my losses and leave? In any case, there are going to be many opportunities coming up this month, and you're going to have to decide which path speaks to you the most. Which path is going to be the right path, the one that you can feel good about. You may choose the path, because like the Hierophant is about following tradition. You may choose the traditional path. So for example, if let's say you're dating and you're deciding, should we move in together and just live together, or should I get married? You probably are going to want to have more of a formal commitment. You're not going to want to just do something that's not going to be accepted by society. So you're really thinking about, what are people going to think? So you're basing your decision on your reputation and what people are going to think, rather than what you really might feel. The Nine of Wands is the outcome. So the Nine of Wands, you've been really struggling. You've been working really hard. And you've been struggling with an issue for a long time, thinking, I've been working really hard on this thing, and I don't know if it's going to work. Maybe I should just give up. The Nine of Wands is telling you not to quit, not to give up, because things are going to... You're almost there. You're almost at your goal. You just have to give it one last shot. So don't give up. Don't quit on an existing situation. The other thing that the Nine of Wands can mean is that something that you thought was already resolved may pop up again. So you may have, resolved an issue in a partnership and decide, you both agreed on what was going to happen, and then all of a sudden, out of the blue, this issue comes up again and you have to deal with it. You have to fight for something. You have to defend yourself or defend your position. So that might come up. The other way, sometimes the Nine of Wands also can bring a relationship back that you thought was over, and all of a sudden this relationship pops back up. Especially with Mercury going retrograde, sometimes that brings people from the past back, and we have to deal with them and decide, do I want to reestablish this connection, or do I want to let it go? And maybe that's the decision that you're making. And I feel like this person is going to just pop in quickly. Out of the blue. You're going to either get a message, hear from someone, or they're going to just show up. Somehow you're going to bump into them, and they're going to want to reconnect, and you have to decide, what do I want to do? Do I want to reestablish this? Do I want to, take this new direction, or stay with where I'm at? So let's see what the astrology has to say about this. So the full moon is happening in your 4th house of home, and it's also affecting your career, your status. So something is coming to completion at home. Something is being revealed at home. The moon is conjunct Chiron. So there could be some childhood wounds that you have to deal with at this full moon that come up around home and family. Maybe you have to realize, there are certain things that you've kept hidden or kept buried, and something happens that brings them to light this month at the full moon. And it could be also, you have Uranus in the 5th house that's making an aspect to the sun in your 10th house. So there could be an unexpected development in a creative project that just comes in out of the blue. An unexpected development around children. Or even a romance that just pops up. And it could be through career connections. So something like maybe the people that you know through work, all of a sudden this potential romance pops up. And that can be a little bit challenging because the inconjunct aspect is, it's not an easy aspect. It's kind of like throwing an unexpected kink in the works. You have Venus in the 8th house, trining Mars in the 4th house. So there could be some issues around a partner's money that pop up. Like for the most part, Venus trine Mars can mean love and romance. The Venus is like the goddess of love. Mars is the goddess of war, of sex, war. So there could be some sexual attraction that comes up. But there could be also, and Venus in the 8th house in Leo, it can bring money coming in. So you might, if you're waiting for payments to come in, it could be an insurance payout or some kind of money that you're expecting, some grant money or some insurance money or a tax refund. There could be money coming in this month with Venus in the 8th house. And maybe you decide to do some work around the house, because Mars going through the 4th house, you're either fighting with the people you live with or you're doing construction projects around the home. So it's better to use your energy by cleaning the house, using your physical, get that Mars energy out in a physical way rather than fighting. Because if you don't get it out in a physical way, then you might be fighting, because the energy has to come out one way or another. And Mars is squaring Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter this month in your 1st house. So you may be feeling, I don't know, the Saturn and Pluto, on the one hand, you're coming into your power. You're learning how to take responsibility for your life. And, but you could also run into conflicts with authority figures, because you have to balance that power with the needs of others. And you have to learn how to work with other authority figures. So there could be, some power struggles around authority or around how you are showing up in the world. Maybe you have to take more responsibility, show a more take charge attitude, and not just like coast. Jupiter is sextile Neptune in the 3rd house, so you could be getting along better with relatives, brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles. Even in communication, you could be thinking, with Neptune in the 3rd, if you ever felt like doing anything creative writing, Neptune in the 3rd will help you. And Jupiter in the 1st, it just gives you optimism. So it's a good time to do some writing. If you have to write anything, your words will flow. You will be totally inspired, or do anything creative, art, music, whatever. It would be a good way to show your talents. You have Mercury in the 11th house in Scorpio this month. And it's going to go retrograde on the 13th. So it's going to start moving back. When Mercury retrogrades, it could bring in, so the 11th house is the house of friendship and the groups that you belong to. So you may be reconnecting with friends that you've lost contact with. You may be reconnecting with certain groups that you were once part of, and maybe, they dropped, you kind of got busy and you just didn't have time for them, and now you're going to be reconnecting with them. It could also bring a message, unexpected message coming back, from the past, a friend that you once knew and wants to reconnect. The new moon in Libra is happening in your 10th house, and that's on the 16th. So that could be a new beginning in your career, a new opportunity, especially in Libra. It could be some kind of creative project. I feel like it's a creative project because Libra is ruled by Venus, and the only problem is it's opposed by Mars in the 4th. So you have stuff going on at home. Like you might be busy with home projects while you're having this new beginning in your 10th house. So there's like, how do I do it all? You're going to be like you might be a little bit overwhelmed or overworked this month because of all your responsibilities. So take care of your health, because, you have a lot of stress going on with this. You have Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter in your 1st house, and Mars is squaring it from the 4th house. So whatever tension, there's tension at home. Not going to, you're either busy working on house projects, remodeling, or something like that, or fighting with people in the home. Maybe you're having disagreements about how to decorate the house, or the best way to do things, Or there could be also, whatever this new career opportunity is, it's going to affect your time with your family, and so you have to balance that somehow. Because there could be someone at home that's very that wants, that kind of has a lot of needs or or demands, and someone's being demanding in your home, and you don't have the time for this because you're busy with work issues that you really love, because Venus, the new moon, you're going to be, I think you're going to like the new beginnings, but it's going to be difficult to start this new beginning. Number one, because Mars is retrograde. You're not going to have the energy that you normally have. And number 2, Mercury is retrograde. So if you're starting a job during a Mercury retrograde, make sure that you really understand what you're getting into, because there could be miscommunications. There could be, read the fine print. And if you can postpone starting anything new until Mercury goes direct in November, if you can postpone any new beginning until mid-November, that would be ideal. But sometimes you can't do that. Sometimes you just have to take a job when it comes up. In that case, just make sure that you're communicating, clearly, that you're understanding what they're offering you, and especially if it's a relationship decision, like if you decide to commit to someone, maybe you should wait another month before you make that decision. Venus will be in your 9th house, so this is a great time for teaching, learning, even travel. You're going to feel like traveling with Venus in the 9th. But it could also bring a love relationship with someone who's very different than you, someone of a foreign culture, or has a different belief system, who was raised under different conditions. And this Venus is trining Pluto in your 1st house and trining Saturn. So anything you start with this Venus aspect can last a long time. So and the 9th house is the house of publishing. So you might be thinking of publishing a website, or connecting with a global market, or doing something that involves the internet, or teaching. Maybe you're starting a class. You want to teach a class, or you're thinking about going back to school and picking up some new skills. It would be best if you could wait until November. Then the energies will be more supportive. You'll have more energy to start and to get through this program. But if you can't, then just check all the details, read the fine print before you agree to anything. Mercury is in your 11th house, and it's going to be opposing Uranus in the 5th house. So this is happening just before the new moon. Mercury will be exactly opposite Uranus in Taurus. Mercury in Scorpio, Uranus in Taurus. That could bring a message. You may receive news from someone out of the blue, unexpected, that has to do, like a friendship could turn into a romance. It could be a friend that pops up that you haven't seen in a while, and it could become a romantic encounter. Or you could get a message about a creative project that suddenly you really want to get involved in. Like out of the blue, this creative project pops up. Hey, you want to do this? And it's right up your alley. Whatever it is, the 11th house is the house of hopes and dreams. And it also represents money that you earn from the work that you do. So it could be a new project that comes up that brings money in, or a contract that you need to sign. Whatever it is, it's going to be unexpected. And, if you try to figure it out, it's like the least thing like the last person you expected to call you or message you will show up. So just expect the unexpected when Mercury opposes Uranus. And the other way it can work also, because Uranus is in your 5th house, is you have a lot of creative ideas. So you're going to be coming with really unique solutions. If you're working on a creative project, you're going to be like really innovative this month. You might even be involved more in technology, web design or coding or some kind of programming project, something that's connecting to technology or the internet and involves communication. So that could be another thing that happens, and it's out of the blue. So in spite of all these squares and the tension with the Mars energy squaring Saturn, squaring Pluto, with Saturn and Mars square, you just feel blocked. You feel like, I want to get stuff off the ground and I'm being blocked by authority. They're not liking my, you feel like it's very frustrating. And this has been going on for 6 months. It's not something that just happens and then it's gone. We've been dealing with this energy since Mars conjuncted, since March, since Mars first moved into Capricorn. And it's been going through, So until Mars moves out of the retrograde period and moves into Aquarius, Capricorns are going to be under siege. All the cardinal signs have been dealing with a lot of stress over the past 6 months. Capricorn, Cancer, Libra, Aries, because Mars is touching all those points. It's activating, especially if you have Capricorn rising or you have any of these cardinal signs on your you know, your first house, your fourth house, your 10th house, your 7th house. Those are the cardinal points. That is, it's life changing. It's energy that's going to change your life in some way. But you almost need this challenge. You need this stress to get you activated, to make changes. And then with Mars squaring Pluto, that can bring up a lot of anger or power struggles in relationships. So, and with you, it's going to be happening in your home. You might be arguing with someone or having power struggles with someone living in your home. And then Jupiter, you know, Jupiter in the first house, you're very optimistic. You may want to just do it all and then you find out later, I don't have the energy to do all this. And so you're going to have to learn what your limits are, realistically. What can I do? You know, I can't take on too much. Because you're going to want to do that with Jupiter in your sign. But the thing is, once you get through this work, like if you work hard and you deal with the challenge, and Capricorns are okay with work, they're not afraid of work, Saturn will leave you a gift when it leaves your house, your first house. When Saturn rewards hard work, before it moves into your second house, when it moves into Aquarius, it's going to reward you with a gift. So don't think that your work is going to be in vain. It will not be. Just keep it up. Just keep fighting the good fight. You know, don't give up on the dream. And in the meantime, I mean, the only saving grace that we have this month, in spite of all this tension, is this Venus trine Mars and Venus trine Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto. So Venus is our guardian angel that's bringing love and bringing romance and possibly money and financial support. So that's like the shining light. That's the light. That's the silver lining in the cloud. That's going to happen more toward the end of the month. And also this Mercury opposite Uranus. There could be some unexpected developments at the end of the month that I think are going to be positive, but they will be surprising. So so hold on to that thought. You know, just keep working hard. Just, you know, the worst is going to be almost over. You just have to hang in there and get through this. But I think by the end of the month, there could be unexpected developments that shift the energy in a more positive way. So that's my forecast, Capricorn. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, click on the like button, click on the subscribe button. If you want a private reading, click on the link in the description box and it'll get you to my website and we can get you on the schedule. In the meantime, thank you for your support, and thank you for, if you're new, welcome. Thank you for commenting. I love reading all the comments. And hang in there. It's going to get better. We just have to get through October and a little bit of November, and think we should start seeing a light at the end of the tunnel. So that's my forecast for October, Capricorn. Thank you for your patience, and I will talk to you again next month. Okay, bye now.